A very good evening and welcome to Tuesday's edition of Primetime News with me, Michael Madimba. As always, if it's your first time joining us, please subscribe, hit the like button, and be sure to click the bell icon to stay posted on the latest happenings. And the lead tonight. The Namibian police force NAMPO have arrested 2 male suspects in connection with 4 lion and 2 hyena carcasses discovered at Ochomapenda cattle post in the Ehiro Vipuka Conservancy of the Kunene region.
Informing the media on Monday, Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism Public Relations Officer Romeo Muyunda said the carcasses were discovered over the weekend after the ministry's official observed that the lions called us stop sending signals. Muyunda explained that the search was conducted immediately with the assistance of the Namibian police force, which led to the discovery of the carcasses buried under stones. Muyunda said the 2 suspects, whose ages are unknown, were arrested between Sunday and Monday after the ministry conducted a search operation in the area. The lions and hyenas were allegedly poisoned by the members of the community, who then buried them with stones. He added that the search operation is currently ongoing in the area as the number of killed animals, especially lions, might increase.
Staying with the environmental news. The Environmental Investment Fund, EIF, has raised more than 640 million Namibian dollars for climate action grants since its accreditation by the Green Climate Fund under the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change in 2016.
A statement issued on Monday by the Environmental Investment Fund said the fund has been reaccredited to the Green Climate Fund Board for a further 5-year contract to fund projects and programs geared towards climate resilience after its contract lapsed in June 2021. It noted the Green Climate Fund Board recognizes the importance of increasing support for developing countries to adapt to the impacts of climate change, and the reaccreditation demonstrates the cooperation, commitment and dedication of the Namibian government towards climate change. Some of the projects highlighted by the fund includes climate resilience agricultural schemes executed by the Ministry of Agriculture, Water and Land Reform in 3 vulnerable extreme northern crop growing regions valued at 149 million Namibian dollars. 33 community-based rural climate change adaptation projects aimed at empowering rural inhabitants in terms of awareness, adaptive capacity, and low-carbon rural development valued at 126 million Namibian dollars also benefited. Another project included improving rangeland and ecosystem management practices of smallholder farmers working under climate change conditions in the Sesfontein, Fransfontein, and Wamkula areas valued at 140 million Namibian dollars. The youngest environmental investment fund investment seeks to increase climate change resilience of 8 productive communal area landscapes in 13 regions through the implementation of ecosystem-based adaptation actions to the tune of 137 million Namibian dollars. The statement noted that most of these projects are 5-year-long projects.
In a boost for policing operations, the Road Fund Administration RFA on Monday handed over 25 traffic law enforcement vehicles and equipment to the Namibian police force valued at 15 million Namibian dollars.
The vehicles include 11 Volkswagen Polo GTIs, 6 Toyota Corollas, and 3 Toyota Hilux single cab pickups, with the other 5 to be delivered before the end of this month by the supplier. The traffic equipment includes 5 TrueCam average speed cameras, 5 Intoxilyzer breath analyzers, and 5 Max alcohol screen devices. Speaking while handing over the items, the Road Fund Administration Chief Executive Officer, Aili Aipinge, said the institution has a clear strategic intent and obligation to ensure that Namibian roads are safe and economically sustainable for all road users, adding that because the transport and road sector in which the Road Fund Administration is a key enabler remains a key catalyst of Namibia's economic recovery and growth, and the Road Fund Administration's investment of over 2.4 billion Namibian dollars per annum in the road sector continues to yield positive returns for the economy and road users alike. Ipinge also noted that whilst the core for their investment goes to the maintenance and rehabilitation of the national road network, they remain committed to supporting traffic law enforcement initiatives and programs across the country. Executive Director in the Ministry of Home Affairs, Immigration, Safety and Security, Etienne Marit, Emirates, who received the vehicle, said the support could not have come at a better time as the ministry is faced with financial constraints that hamper its executive mandate towards the realization of roads free of accidents in Africa and the realization of the African Union Agenda 2063. Salima Shimwefeleni reporting for Nampa News.
Now, shifting attention to regional news, where Mozambican defense and security forces killed Mariano Nongo, the leader of the Renamo military junta, the armed dissident faction of opposition Renamo party in the country's central province of Sofala, on Monday morning. Shinwa brings us this report.
Nhongo and one of his closest followers were killed following an offensive led by the FDS, according to the Commander General of the Police of the Republic of Mozambique, Bernardino Rafael, who announced the information to the nation in a televised speech. The Police of the Republic of Mozambique commander said that the Defense and Security Force did everything to neutralize Mariano Hongo and bring him to justice, but unfortunately his guerrillas attacked the police patrol, which resulted in an exchange of fire. Rafael said the President of the Republic and Commander-in-Chief of the Police of Mozambique, Felipe Nyusi, has always called on Mariano Hongo and his guerrillas to surrender themselves and to join the process of demoralization, demilitarization, and reintegration. He added that sadly he resisted and continued until Monday, which culminated in the incident they announced. Rafael further said weapons and ammunitions were recovered at the site of the operation and steps are also being taken to bring the body of Nhongo back to his family, he said. Following the announcement of Nhongo's death, the personal envoy of the United Nations Secretary General and president of the International Contact Group supporting the peace process in Mozambique, Mirko Manzoni, said in a statement that the situation had once looked hopeful to be solved in a peaceful manner.
Stand by for your top roundup. In the business and economic segment tonight, we begin with tech news. English app developer Louis Barclay has been banned by social media giant Facebook from the platform for making a tool that will enable users to clear their timeline all at once. He was handed a cease and desist letter in July and was permanently banned from the platform. DPA has more on the story.
In 2020, Bagley made an extension for Google Play Store for Facebook users. Using this extension, the users can unfollow all the pages and unfriend everyone from their friends list. This significantly reduced the time taken to do that manually. Following the launch of the extension, the University of Neuchâtel in Switzerland was interested in using it to find out the effect of an empty timeline on the user's mental health and also the number of time individuals usually spend on the platform. In a post on Slate, the developer published a version of the message he received from the law firm that represents Facebook, Parkerson K, that he will be ousted from both Facebook and Instagram and will not be allowed to access the platforms.
Moving on to the business of retail. Retail customers in Germany have been warned to expect supply bottlenecks and higher prices in the run-up to the festive season.
A study by the Munich-based IFO Institute found that 74% of retailers surveyed complained about delivery problems in September. Klaus Wohlrabe, the head of IFO surveys today, said that some Christmas presents may not be available or will be more expensive. According to the survey, bicycle dealers in particular are experiencing delays. All companies surveyed in this sector reported problems with their orders. Volrabe said there's sand in the gears of global logistics right now, and freight rates in shipping have increased significantly. The survey found that the after effects of the high timber prices in the first half of the year were becoming visible in DIY and furniture stores. Many electronic shops are also experiencing problems due to the shortages of microchips.
That's all from me, Michael Madimba. Your sports news will follow after the economics roundup and the weather forecast.
Good evening and welcome to All Things Sport on Sport Planet with me, Joy Gosses. Namibia's hopes of an appearance at the 2022 Qatar FIFA Global Showpiece ended after Senegal's Teranga Lions beat the Brave Warriors by 3-1 in a Group H World Cup qualifier earlier this afternoon at the Orlando Stadium in South Africa. Marco Nglobo, our sports journalist, compiled this report.
Senegalese striker Famara Diadou scored a hat-trick, 2 headers and a sleek finish, to all but seal qualification to the third round for his team. Diadou scored his first goal on the 22nd minute following a cross by Sadio Mane, who found him unmarked in the 12-yard box to beat Lloyd Kazapua in goal for Namibia. However, captain Peter Shalulile pulled one back for the Brave Warriors 4 minutes later, when he clinically finished off a Willie Stefana's cross with his weaker left foot to make it 1-0. Kazapua then produced a couple of point-blank saves before Stefana's free kick was parried over for a corner kick by Edward Mendy to leave the teams tied at half-time. Diadou came back to haunt Namibia again when he was left unmarked to head home his second of the game early in the second half. During the latter stages of the game, Namibia's captain Shalulile then robbed Idrissa Gana Gueye off the ball at the edge of the area, but blazed his shot over the bar. His miss came back to haunt Namibia when Diadu completed his hat-trick in the 84th minute to effectively eliminate Namibia from the race. Brave Warriors coach Bobby Samaria was gracious in defeat, saying the game was tough as Namibia conceded all the goals from bad man marking situations as well as silly mistakes.
On my team side, I think the fighting spirit, that's one. They never gave up, even in tears. We were 3-0 down, but we kept pushing. We got one back, 3-1. Kept pushing. We conceded a late one, but even at 4-1, you would think it's not the same. Again happened here. We went back. We went down 1-0. We equalized, made 1-1. Then we made again. They allowed those crosses to come in. They used their aerial advantage to good effect. But all in all, I think the future for Namibia is blessed. It looks good because the boys are really talented and they can play football.
Senegal now have 12 points from 4 matches and top the group ahead of Namibia, who still have 4 points in second place. Third place and fourth place is occupied by Congo and Togo, who have 2 and 1 point respectively.
The chairperson of the Namibia Annual Sports Awards judging panel, Leslie Shiweather, has called on sports administrators to put more effort into their entries for the awards.
There's one thing that going through the file we found that really needs to be pushed and improved, and that is from the administrators' side. The administrators or the sport administrators, some of them are really letting down their athletes, because you will find incomplete entries. These are things that have been done by administrators. You will find entries that have been submitted but there are no statistics. You will find entries that are there but there are no motivation, and all you get is that X-athlete has been entered into a certain category, but there's no motivation or even a small 2-line paragraph to be able to explain as to why that athlete is or should be considered as the deserved winner for that category. So it's one thing that the administrators need to be able to work on, to try and really give the athletes a fair chance against the other ones.
Your Sports Roundup is up next. With that, we have come to the end of tonight's bulletin. Much appreciated for tuning in. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe, like, share, and click on the notifications bell to stay abreast with the latest happenings locally and globally. Do add your comments as well in the comment section. Catch us tomorrow for another edition of Primetime News. From myself, Joy Gosses, and the entire production crew, it's good night.